Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz and this is Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is Friday, February 17th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. The first thing is a pretty slow week in general in terms of crazy things that are going on. Obviously, there's some business stuff where Google's getting bashed here and there. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty slow week in terms of the importance level of what we had to cover this week in terms of search news. There was a great thread over at Webmaster World asking if I refuse to go social with my website, will that affect my rankings in the long run? And the truth is, it probably will. It probably will. I mean, the question is, really, how much is social going to be a ranking factor? Google Plus obviously is very being pushed very hard at Google. There is some sort of personalization on the high level in terms of if you're logged into a Google Plus account, what your friends see and what everybody else sees is related somewhat to the Google Plus network. Facebook not so much, but Bing is taking that into account. Plus the indirect factor of social sites where as you +1 things or share things on Facebook or Twitter, more people see it, more people might link to it, and so forth. So I think you really do have to go social in order to compete in the future in terms of search rankings. It won't hurt you that badly if you don't. If you have a pure organic site that ranks fairly well right now, it won't be that bad. But overall, you really should go ahead and try to make your site social. The next thing we covered was yesterday, where we saw a bug, which some people might call a feature, but it's really a bug, where if you do a search at Google UK for BBC football, what you'll get are pretty much just one search result, a news result, and a universal video result. And the question is, why? Is this on purpose? Is Google just showing that because you're searching for BBC football and it's only going to show you the BBC related stuff? Or is that a feature or is that a bug? And it really seems to be a bug. I'm not 100% sure if it is or not, but let me just check right now to see if it's still an issue. It's still an issue. It's weird. I don't understand why Google would just show one search result for search BBC football in the UK. Doesn't really make that much sense to me. I mean, there are other results they could show that are relevant, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. Also, we discussed was this morning we found a lot of people complaining that are using Google's Blogger system, the custom domain feature, where they actually have using Blogger's CMS, content management system, on their own custom domain. They're saying that Google hasn't been really indexing their content, their new content, as they used to in the past. In fact, there's a lot of people saying they haven't indexed their new content at all. John Moo first from Google went ahead and passed it along as saying this is just normal fluctuations and indexing patterns. But then there's a lot more reports about this issue over the course of several times, over the course of about 10 days or so. And he said in his post later on this morning, we hear from your post here and that these fluctuations haven't settled down for some of you. So we're definitely still looking into some of those details. So Google's looking into it. Maybe it's a crawler issue, maybe it's an indexing issue, or maybe it's just normal fluctuations. We're not sure. The next thing we covered was that Google Webmaster Tools is trying to simplify the query reports. We're going to show you some screenshots here. But basically, they add a toggle where you can actually toggle between the basic and the with change on the search query report. So with the basic report, basically it doesn't show you any changes between last month and this month, but the with change shows you more details in terms of deltas up and down in terms of your rankings and your click-through rates and all that types of stuff. So Google's trying to simplify their Webmaster reports that way. AJ Cohn came out with a cool new bookmarklet. It's basically a quick way of checking your rich snippets or your competitors' rich snippets. You add this bookmarklet to your browser and you can just go to any web page on the internet, click on it, and it will show you what type of rich snippet markup that website is using, if any. So it's obviously a good way for you to test your own sites quickly to see if your markup is valid, but it's also a good way to see your competitors and what type of rich snippets they're using in order to test that out. We posted about this on February 13th. If you want to take a look at that and add that bookmarklet to your browser, that is available there. On February 13th, I went ahead and got involved in this Twitter chat, just people talking about the concept of can a URL be indexed if it's being blocked by a robots or no index tag or being blocked by a robots.txt file. it was really about semantics, how you define what is index versus what's reference versus whatever, and it's just basically SEOs going at it over terminology. I named the post "What SEO Geeks Argue About," and it was pretty fun. We got a lot of comments, about 20 comments on that post, plus a lot of Twitter reaction to it. But it's just funny to see what real SEO geeks argue about in the SEO world. It makes no difference in terms of rankings or anything. It's just what people argue about. Yesterday I also posted about iAds. iAds, Google Ads, Apple's mobile ad platform. It's called iAds. And Apple announced that they're going ahead and going to lower the barrier of entry for publishers, actually advertisers, to be involved. They used to require $500,000 budget. Now they require a $100,000 budget, which is still very, very high for most advertisers. Whereas Google goes after anybody who has any type of budget, starting at like $5 or something. And basically, I then went ahead and compared how iAd, Google AdSense, and AdMob, which is now owned by Google, compares to each other, because we have a lot of apps that we run. A lot of them are monetized via ads, and we've done a mixed breed between iAds and Google AdSense. And so about 2 weeks ago, Google AdSense stopped working on mobile ads, mobile apps. They switched everything over to AdMob, and I had to switch all our apps over to AdMob. And let me just share some things. I was making with Google AdSense about $2.50 earnings CPM, and then on iAds I was only making about 70 cents. And with AdMob, I only make about 40 cents. So again, $2.50 with AdSense in my apps, that's no longer possible. And what's weird is that AdMob uses the same exact inventory as AdSense, so I don't know why it's 40 cents versus $2.50. And iAds is only getting about 70 cents. So right now, I'm much happier using iAds, bumping up that level of terms of what I'm fill rate in terms of iAds over AdMob, which is owned by Google. But I really do miss having AdSense in my ads, in my apps. I also noted this. This actually happened a few months ago, or a couple months ago. But if you go to a Street View image now, and if it's a Google Street View image, you'll see in the bottom left corner, Google has dated that Street View image. It's not the exact date. It shows you the month and year. But if you go to a Google Street View image, it will show you the image, the photograph, plus it will date it with the month and year. The only way to do that previously, back in November 2010, we covered it, was to actually go to Google Earth and get the imagery of there. But as of, I believe, a couple months ago, I think in December or early January, you were able to actually, Google added it to the actual Street View images on your web browser. Finally, we have a video posted by Nick on his Google Plus profile, where National Car Rental has this series of commercials called Go Like a Pro, and you could actually submit your business profile and your business description to National Car Rentals on their Facebook profile page, on the Facebook wall, and they might feature that profession as in their Go Like a Pro commercial. And they did that recently. I don't know exactly when, but they did it recently, featuring SEO, and the commercial read, "You are a business pro, a monarch of all marketing analysis, with the ability to improve ROI through SEO, all by COB. And you rent you rent from National because only National lets you take any car. Da 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 da. Go National, go like a pro." So they use the term ROI through SEO, all by COB. And again, I don't know who they featured in that thing yet. I don't have the raw video from them. I'm hoping to get it from them. But it's pretty cool to see an SEO feature in the commercial from National Car Rental. I believe that recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over the past week at SERoundtable.com and SERoundtable.com. And today is Friday, February 17th. Thanks so much for listening. Everyone have a great weekend, and see you guys next week. Bye.